little story time to start the motherfucking year off on the right foot. Now, I was recently in November hired by a massive technological company to host a consumer trade show on their behalf. Now, because I went to school for journalism, I do regular hosting as well as sex education, which is like my specific niche, but I still, I'm still a host and I still am a caveat for many types of stories, and I happen to also love technology, so it was a great fit. We had a great conference call, they sent me an offer, they hired me for the job, everything was great, and then I got an email from my agent saying that they looked at my YouTube and they're not really sure if their brand really aligns with my direction, so they think they're gonna walk away. Now, mind you, when this happened, I'd already gotten the job, so it's a big payout. I've struggled in America for a long time. I was very excited to share the news with my family, with my close friends. This had happened, and now I had the embarrassment, really, of having to be like, oh, no, I'm not. And further to the point, it's the embarrassment of explaining to my parents especially why. I even told my sister not to tell my mom and dad that I lost the job because I talk about sex. And this goes back to the guilt and shame that I experienced in my very early 20s when I first started even doing sex education out loud. And it was very difficult for me to stand up and say, I think that this area needs a voice, and it's gonna be me. And then I thought to myself, wait a second. Wait a second. I'm a millennial woman who doesn't have a criminal record. I don't even have $1 of debt to my name. I don't do drugs. Hell, I don't even drink. I graduated from college. I actually graduated from college with an award from my entire province as being the most successful graduate from my college. I went on to write a book on this topic. I moved to another country all by myself, where I also managed to be an upstanding citizen of a new country, but yet I don't align with your brand. I am not the kind of person that massive technological company sees as being a representative to their true consumers. Now, let's just think about this for a second, because you do computers, right? And if we did a really quick search of the top websites that are visited each and every day, what comes up? This is our place to be ourselves. We have spent centuries trying to be the idealistic human being, and now finally we are breaking free from all that, and guess what? We are better for it. We are more tolerant, we ask more questions, we learn faster, we see the world from a broader perspective. Overall, the world is becoming a much better place when we get to stop bullshitting. Yet you guys come up on these spaces and try to infiltrate this culture of fear and of shame, and I'm not fucking with it. Dear massive technological company, you hired me because I am articulate, presentable, smart, and witty. But I guess because I don't use these combined powers to calculate tips like other actresses, I'm not the right fit for your brand. Dear massive technological company, I get it. You guys were looking for a robot or perhaps a beauty guru to fill this void, which you guys are probably building robots right now as we speak, so this whole conversation will be null and void in 5 to 10 years. Bionic fingers crossed. But until then, you got a real woman with real opinions who is actually really educated in the topic that she speaks about so crassly that you don't think agrees with your brand. I thought that your brand was speaking to the world, sharing information and ideas with the people of this world who happen to be here because two individuals got together and did the dirty. And I am embarrassed for myself, to be honest with you, for even allowing your shame to infiltrate my opinion of my work. For that millisecond that I was embarrassed for what I do because and you know what, going forward, that mistake is not going to happen anymore. This coming year, I am going to be more in my vein. I am going to be more in your face. I am going to speak louder with more confidence and hopefully with a larger community behind me, so people and brands like this cannot deny the fact that the world needs more women like me to feel like they can be a motherfucking woman just like me. And that's all I wanted to say. Your brand looks to change the world one button at a time, and I'm looking to help the world one hot button at a time. And you thought our brands didn't even align. And that tissue is pleasurable to touch. Now, because it is protecting the bladder lining, you can access that through the vagina, as most of you guys know, about 2 inches up and then by pressing in. You should feel a bit of rigid skin there, and that is your G-spot. So I think a pleasure-driven society is one where people are happier and healthier.